Let's talk about that for a second. I'm very curious. How has COVID changed the sponsorship world? And you mentioned something a second ago. You said, being an agent is like being part of the family. Well, there is a family that you represent, the Deegans, everybody from Brian to Danger Boy to Haley. Um, Managing time with the family, how much of it is spent doing social media and promoting versus how much is spent trying to raise money and increase revenue, especially during a year like COVID when there weren't that many races?
Yeah, during COVID, what really happened is Brian and I were talking. I'll never forget. I was sitting at a ski resort in Montana, and he was at a motocross race in Texas on that Sunday when we got the news we were shutting down. And he and I started talking about what do we do? What's our plan? What's our strategy? And I'm like, man, we got to ramp up social media. He's like, I agree. I'm like, if they're going to shut this country down on us, there's no racing, there's no marketing, there's nothing. All that we have is our pipeline with social media. And that's when Brian made a really, really strong, I mean, he was already going strong on social, but he really doubled down on the social and the YouTube channel at that time.
Yeah, he
And,
did.
and when we did that, the numbers just kept growing because everyone was sitting at home with nothing to do. You got tired of watching Netflix, right? You could only watch so many sitcoms until you're ready to put a bullet in your head. And so people start going to YouTube and looking for new stuff. And it was the perfect storm for us there. And as those numbers grew and the social numbers grew, brands started finding us. And we started going back to our brands and our partners saying, guys, truck's not on the track, car's not on the track, motorcycles aren't on the track. We want to deliver value. What can we do for you guys? So we were afraid that sponsors were going to start coming back asking for concessions because we had, you have your guaranteed contracts, and we're like, we need to do something here to continue to over deliver for our partners and bring them value. And that was through our social media channels and doing things for each of our partners and getting involved with them one-on-one. As that got going and the COVID thing carried on and carried on and carried on, and there were other agencies out there, and myself, I came from Omnicom. I spent 8 years at Omnicom, the largest ad agency network in the world. Right. And leaning on those agencies and networking through there, we started finding there's agencies representing brands specifically for social media, pay for posts. And we started putting all these other unique deals together just solely through social media. And it worked like gangbusters for us. And now it's like every day I have 2 or 3 calls about another social media deal, whether it's for the Deegan family or other athletes that we have. But that social media thing has just, it really took off. And I think it was because of COVID. And we were lucky because the Deegans had a great foundation to begin with.